but I knew I couldn't stop. This was my only chance to finally dispose of this demon.
Oh no.
I eventually cut its arms and wrists to the point that they give away as it can no longer hold them up. For the first time, it had a look of fear in its eyes.
Welcome back to Sleep Well. It's time. It's been 2 weeks. Time for a new video. Today's video is called A Night at the Inwell House by AIM122. Alright, hope you guys enjoy. I'm also going to give a shout out to our co-star Andrea. She's got her own podcast called Medicated, Meddlesome, and Quarrelsome. Check her out on Apple Podcast. And let's get to the video. We chose a story earlier, and apparently that author does not want us to read their story. So we had to switch it up. But this one looks good. There's some dialogue in it, so I'm excited about that, obviously. And Andrea needs to redeem herself from last video. All right, she messed up the intro when she started reading. So we got to get her. We're trying to get her back on her feet here. But yeah, go. All right, yeah. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Ready? Okay.
Yeah.
A small cup. A smart. I think you jinxed it. Okay.
Hold on. Before you start, I gotta go get my wine. I think I made you nervous. I think I made you too nervous.
I think so too. You jinxed me.
That is too funny. We're drinking at the bottle.
What?
We're drinking at the bottle.
You're drinking out the bottle?
Yeah, my cat is judging you right now. What?
Good way to drink it. You don't have to get up each time.
It's like small too. Like it's not a big bottle.
I think that's a regular size bottle, but yeah.
It's not big.
All right. I'm ready. Take 2.
Religion. Okay, go ahead.
A smile covers my face as I look up to see Emily looking down at me as I awake from my nap. I never really took work seriously, something she always got after me for. But waking up to see her beautifully golden silky hair, bright blue eyes resembling the waters of the Maldives, and well, her figure wasn't anything to scoff at either. This was enough to make me not care about napping on the job.
That's a crazy way to explain your girlfriend or whatever this person is to. She doesn't have a great body, but I love her. What? Right, I'm guessing this is the guy, right? What is it this time, honey?
She rolled her eyes before pulling me up from the chair. Come on, it's pretty busy right now.
No, it's me. What are you doing?
Oh, damn. You're right. Sorry.
She rolled her eyes before pulling me up from the chair. Come on, we fucked this whole beginning of this episode. I apologize. We're usually not this bad. All right, we've wasted some time here. We gotta get it together here. Let's get it together.
Get it together.
She rolled her eyes before pulling me up from the chair. Come on, it's getting pretty busy now. I know we come in early, but are you leaving me and Matthew with all the bagging and scanning?
I sigh and stand up. We live in a relatively small town where, for the most part, everyone knows each other. We work in a local supermarket with the lovely name of Super Emporium. So there isn't anything super about it. It's a small, dingy store known for its relatively low prices of meat and fish. The size of the store is small, and Emily, Matthew, and I are the only ones who work here during the day.
There we go. I walked over to the checkout counter, following behind Emily, giving her small glances and checking her out. Ever since I met her, she's been the joy of my life. I have been going strong for 3 years, and now I've been saving up for a ring. I see Matthew bagging a few items for the current customer checking out. Emily gives me a little shove towards checkout as I ring them up. Matthew, a bit older man, finished bagging, sending the customer on their way home, and walked over to me. Hey, Cole.
I could smell the nicotine coming from his breath. He had a smoking addiction he could never really overcome, seeking a few during work in the break room. How the smoke detector has never gone off is beyond me, but me and Emily suspect he took out the batteries. Not like it matters, it is his business after all. After all, a family-owned store he inherited after the passing of his father. He looks at me with a small smile. Ever since his divorce, he's been different. He seems less motivated, and I can't help but feel pity that we are the last thing he has, his only friends.
What's up, Matthew? Sorry about sleeping in, but you know how it goes. Don't sweat it, Cole. Emily was being a bit dramatic. It isn't that busy, like usual.
Emily looks over at us, overhearing Matthew's comment with the look of annoyance as she shoots us a middle finger before going back to her duties. I then stand there awkwardly with Matthew before I excuse myself to go to the back to helping a few customers waiting at the checkout. Can't tell who's us talking.
Okay, so when I was reading, Cole said, "What's up, Matthew?" And then Matthew says, "I don't sweat it, Cole." And he was talking about Emily, so this is Matthew. So a few hours pass, and I finished work. Emily gets in my car as usual, and I drop her off at her place before going to my house. It's a nice house, big enough to fit 5 people, and still have a room to spare. I live with one of my good friends, Gary. I've known him since we were children. He loves hunting in the local woods and owns a small jerky shop in a nearby plaza. I enter the home, greeted by a scent of manly musk, as I see Gary shirtless on the couch, eating ice cream from the tub, watching TV. Bro, really? The smell like ass, I can smell you from here. I grumble as I take off my jacket and hung it on the nearby coat rack. Mellow out. It's not a big deal. Gives me a stupid grin and does when he knows he is annoying. And besides, who gives a shit? It's just us anyways. God.
I roll my eyes and head upstairs to change out of my work uniform and put on some pajama pants and a t-shirt before heading back down to watch some TV with Gary. We sat there in silence, only breaking it to crack jokes and make fun of the show we were watching before calling it a night. I head upstairs and give Emily a call. She quickly answers and she already sounds tired. I can't blame her, it's late and we have to wake up early.
Hey babe. Sorry for calling late. I lost track of time watching TV with Gary. It's fine, she mumbles into a phone before letting out a yawn. I'm so tired. I just want to stay on the phone. Not that long, Cole. Wait. Wait a minute, Sophia. Okay, here we go. I'm so tired. I don't want to stay on the phone that long, Cole. I understand, honey. Don't worry. We'll see each other tomorrow, okay? Yeah, she said again in a tired voice. Good night, Cole. I love you. Hope you dream about me, she says in a joking manner, but still, I know a part of her mean it. Yeah. You know I always do. Good night, Emily. I love you too. I waited for her to hang up the phone before letting out a sigh and jumping onto the bed. It's gonna be a long night, I think to myself as I close my eyes. Calming feeling washes over me as I remember the scent of Emily. As I drift off to bed, roses and vanilla fill my nostrils as I see her in my dream. I can see that perfect picture of us, me and her together, a small child in her arms as we both look down at it with proud looks on our faces. Oh, how it would be amazing. Go ahead.
The dream continues as it's me and her playing with our child. We look proud seeing its first steps before looking into each other's eyes. Our faces get closer and closer, our lips pursed as I lay a hand on her cheek, pulling her into a... knock. Is that like actual
That's
knocking?
actually happening. That's actually happening, yeah.
I opened my eyes, confused by the sound. My room was pitch black, nothing but the silent buzz of the TV in my room. Am I imagining this? I myself I ask myself as I look around. Knock, knock, knock. There it was again, a frantic knocking sound. This wasn't in my head. I stand up from the bed looking at the door. The only person in this house is Gary, so who else could it be?
Gary? Is everything alright?
No response, instead greeted with another loud knocking at my door. I stand up from my bed, stumbling in the darkness of my room as I head toward the D. I reach
T?
my hand... T?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either. I reach my hand for the sleek metallic doorknob before hearing another loud knocking, startling me as I fall backward.
Shit, hello? Who is it? You're starting to creep me out, Gary. That shit's not funny.
No response again. I stand up ready to open the door before I hear a soft voice coming from the other end.
Cole, you there? Oh shit, it's Emily. Cole, oh fuck. It's really hard to switch voices like that. Cole, you there?
It was Emily. Her voice was charming and
Melodic.
Has such an easy word. As ever to my ears.
Yeah. Hey, Emily. Geez, you were trying to scare me, babe? 'Cause, well, it worked. Began laughing at her little prank. I gave Emily the keys to the house a few weeks ago, although she never really did much with them. I guess tonight she missed me too much, or something. I rationalized to myself for her weird behavior as I opened the door. First off, pause. That's not Emily. That is not Emily. There's no way that's Emily, because you know why? You know why it's not Emily? You know why I think it's not Emily? Because Emily is super tired. Why would she be over at the house? That's crazy.
True. What are they called?
Doppelgangers.
Yeah, it's a doppelganger.
I guess you need daddy to scratch that itch again, huh, babe? My voice dropped a twist. The door greeted by nothing on the other end. Darkness. Nothing but darkness in the hall. She wasn't there. Called it. Emily? Emily, I know you're here. Come on, it's late. You to try to scare me? Let's just go to bed, huh? Saying annoyed tone due to her antics. I hear a voice from downstairs. Come, honey. Let's eat breakfast. Breakfast? Thought to myself, breakfast this late? She has lost her mind. Began heading downstairs when I asked. I see why some of the comments in here said that, like, this is gonna get creepy because I'm already creeped out. Emily, is everything alright? Why are you wandering in the house in darkness anyways? I turned on the lights in the kitchen. Nothing. It was empty. My heart sank, and I got a weird feeling in my stomach. She was here. She knocked on my door and I heard her voice clearly. What the hell is going on? Go ahead.
Gary walks down a few minutes later.
What's up with all the racket, Cole? Can you, not make so much noise at fucking 4 a.m.? He sounded pissed, and I looked down at his face, confirmed that thought. Did you hear her? Did you hear Emily? What? What? No? What the fuck are you on about, dude? Go to sleep. Jesus, don't do that weird shit again, man. I know you want to marry the woman, but fucking hell. I am trying to sleep, and you're over here screaming. Hey, come to daddy! He mocks me before heading back to his own room in a grumbled, saying obscenities to me.
At any other moment, I probably would have been upset with his attitude, but something was wrong. He didn't hear Emily. How is that possible? Her voice was clear and there was no way I could just imagine something like that, right? Wrong. I head back to the room paranoid and head back to sleep, waking up the next morning. The day went slow and I went through work as if nothing happened until I couldn't hold it anymore and confronted Emily about it in the break room.
Hey, Emily, did you come over to my place last night? No. Why do you ask? Nothing. Just thought I heard you last night, but, I never saw you, and Gary said he didn't hear anything either, but, I swear I heard you knocking on my bedroom door, you know. I'm talking to me. Say a little worried now. The events of last night felt too real, to be fake. Noticed that Matthew overheard our conversation. Call me crazy, but I'm a big believer in supernatural. Look, Cole, I know you probably won't believe me, but I think you might have a mimic on your hands.
I scoffed in disbelief, but a part of me wanted to believe him. What happened last night felt too real for it to just be in my head. What if he is right?
You're joking, right? Look, Cole, you might have two options. Either you are crazy, or it's a mimic. You have all the signs. It's one as well. The perfect sound of someone you know, but no clear source knocked on your door. I mean, come on. Is it really that crazy? That is such an extreme thing to say. Like, let me paint a picture for you in the audience. You're at work. And you're talking about a weird thing that happened at night that you were, like, asleep for, basically. Right? It could have been a dream. And then your coworker was like, yeah, you got a mimic on your hands. It's a ghost. Goddamn, it's a ghost. It's a mimic or you're hearing things. And I don't think it's the second option. You got a ghost in your house. It's a mimic. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is like some shit I would say to Chinnik to freak him out. To Skylar. I do this all the time. I can scare him about ghosts constantly. Because, like, it's very funny.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's doing. But to be serious about it is wild. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Derail a little bit. But, like, that's crazy thing to say. Yeah, you got a mimic.
You should tell that to Skylar.
I did. I told it to him once. I said because we had an instant in our office where Lucia, she saw me walk into my office, and I told her to come here to my office, and apparently she followed me to my office. The door shut in her face, and she walked in mad, and I wasn't in there. So I literally said to Chinnik or to Skylar and her, I said, "Oh yeah, that was probably a mimic." That's literally what I said. So, like, this guy is, like, just like me. I literally, it's probably rabbinic. You're probably being haunted. No big deal. They're harmless.
Not harmless. I looked at him with a scowl on my face as much as I wanted to deny it. His words were scaring me. I was never a firm believer of the supernatural, but I always thought, maybe, just maybe there are things in this world we can't understand.
Look, Matthew, I seriously doubt all that. You are speaking out of your ass trying to scare me. It was probably just in my head. He shrugs. Suit yourself. Just pulling in my input and thoughts. If anything else happens, let us know, alright? We are friends, after all. Gave me a sincere look before walking out of the break room.
I'm trying to get a vibe off of Michael, and I can't.
Matthew?
Matthew. Like, is he old? Like, I know they said he was
older guy.
Older? Yeah, but, like, are they in their 20s and he's 30? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, he's probably like 36. And he's probably like, this guy's old as shit.
Yeah, kind of what I'm getting. Okay. I look over at Emily, who just hugs me.
Let me know if anything else happens, okay, babe? I believe what you said is true. You have no reason to lie to us. I nod and kiss her. Okay, go ahead.
The rest of the day goes by fine, and I head back home. Gary is doing his usual thing. I hear music blaring from his room, and considering he goes to the bars on Fridays, I can imagine what's going on in that room. I head into my room and change into something more comfortable. I head into the kitchen and pop open a cold beer. I sit on the couch and put on the news. The music from Gary's room louder than the TV itself. After about what seemed like an hour, the music goes off and sees Gary come downstairs with the girl. Both of them were sweaty. The girl's hair was ruffled and plastered on her face. Meanwhile, Gary was drenched. I could smell their shame and musk from the couch as he ushered the girl out of the house.
Looks like you had a good time. Ha! I took a swig from my beer and offer him the bottle. Want a swig? Gary takes the beer from my hand with a groan and takes a drink and hands it back. Shut up, Cole. I didn't know you'd be here so early. He looks at the clock. Take that back. I guess I didn't know it would take this long.
I laugh and stand up and pat his back. Before I head into the kitchen, he grabs my shoulder.
Yo, Cole. About last night. Everything alright, bro? You seem pretty convinced about all that shit. But I didn't hear none.
I sighed and nodded.
Yeah, everything is alright, Gary. I probably was just missing Emily, like you said.
I don't want to tell him about the mimic theory Matthew threw at me. Neither did I want to accept that as a reality. Gary walks away and heads back into his room as I sit at the kitchen table pondering. I was scared to go back to my room and sleep. It was about to be 11 p.m. and I didn't want to move. I didn't want to risk that happening again. Even though I knew it wasn't real, a part of me was doubtful.
Alright, I'll read this next too. The fatigue started to get to me. I am overreacting, I think, as I stand up and start heading toward my room. It's late. I got to sleep. This is me being stupid. I walked into my room and lay in bed. I close my eyes and soon I fall into a deep slumber.
I dream about Emily again. Well, more so a memory of our first date. I sit with her at the pier of the beach as she smiles at me.
Hey, this was quite fun. We should do this again sometime. I haven't felt this happy in a while. Yeah, I agree. This was a nice time.
We both look over at the sunset, our hands now touching as we watch the sun go over the horizon.
So beautiful. Not as beautiful as you.
I blush a little embarrassed from my cheesy comment, but Emily laughs.
Aw, how sweet. Well, you're not so bad yourself.
She jokes as she scoots closer and rests her head on my shoulder. I stroke her hair as the world around us goes dark, the sun now gone. We stay there in the same position before she stands up.
Come on, we should go. Now, this was fun.
I agree and I try to stand up. I couldn't move. My chest begins to feel heavy as I try to move. I start wheezing as if something is lying on top of me. Oh. Sleep paralysis. I am taken out of my dream, the same feeling as if somebody laying on my chest remains. After a while, my eyes adjust to the darkness and that's when I see it. On top of me lay a woman with bruised skin, tattered in dirt. Its dark hair was matted on its face. Her long, dirty nails caressed my chest as she stared at me with her black, sunken eyes. She then spoke. Her voice was so mesmerizing, like the singing of birds. It was the voice of the woman I loved.
Hello, Cole.
It said in Emily's voice.
I've missed you.
The creature then smiled at me, her teeth crooked and black. It was appalling. I wanted to run, but I was stuck there unable to move. No matter what my brain told my body to do, it would not function. The creature, the mimic, then stood up. I noticed her belly grow and grow as if she was pregnant.
Oh, shit!
I watched in horror as I watched this unfold. I see a baby begin to crown and the mimic yells. I still can't move or run as I watch the creature give birth to a baby with sickly gray skin and pure black eyes. The baby doesn't cry. It remains silent as tears of this black liquid pour out of its eyes. The mimic brings the baby toward me with a sick smile.
Look, Cole. It's our baby boy.
The mimic seems ecstatic about this and brings the baby to me, holding up to my face as I lay on the bed, unable to move, unable to scream for help. I watch as the baby turns its head to me, and in a deep, demonic voice it says,
Baba.
Suddenly, the baby begins to vomit, the same black fluid leaking from its eyes onto my face. I feel a burning pain as this corrosive fluid lands on me. I try to move, I try to cry, but I just can't. The baby then stops, and the mimic then throws it to the side of the room as it splats onto the wall.
Oh my god, this is a 1 to 10 immediately.
It didn't care for its life, almost as if it was some sort of tool for it to use.
Oh my god.
The mimic grabs me by my hair and drags me to the mirror.
Look, Cole.
It said in a demented way, the same voice the baby had, no longer hiding its true nature and hiding behind Emily's voice.
You're so beautiful as me. Oh, sorry. That's not what it was. You're as beautiful as me.
I see my face in the mirror and the skin on my face flayed. I could see the muscles of my face. Parts of the muscle were completely gone, revealing the bone underneath. The mimic brushed its nails against my face and pierces my eyes. The pain was unbearable, yet I could not scream. I could feel my blood run down my body. I just wanted to cry. I wanted this nightmare to be over. I just wanted my life to be normal again. The rest of what happens is a bit fuzzy. Since I was blinded, I did not know what other torture the mimic made me go through. All I was able to do was feel it, but eventually my brain just shut itself off. I awoke in the morning, back in my bed. I look around, touch my face, and notice my vision is back. I look around, the blood stain of the baby now gone. It was as if nothing happened. I head over to the bathroom and look in the mirror. My body was untouched. I looked around for any sign of what happened last night, but there was nothing to show for it. I head downstairs to see Gary, who immediately shoots me a weird look.
God damn, bro. Looks like you've seen a ghost.
He says with a little bit of a worried look.
Yeah, well, I guess that's one way to put it.
I reply as I grab the coffee pot and serve myself a cup. I look back at him, seeing his worried face. I want to tell him, but I'm scared he will think I'm crazy.
It was just a bad dream, that's all.
I lie, trying to give him some closure about me.
Besides, I don't look that bad, just lost a little sleep, that's all.
I grin and walk out of the kitchen before he could respond, not wanting to talk about it. I walk into the house, mug in hand, and get in my car. I start driving, not knowing where I'm going. I begin to break down in tears. I can't figure out what's happening to me. This thing, it won't leave me alone. I haven't said this, but I see it in the corner of my eye, now watching. As I drive, I can see it in the rearview mirror, sitting in the back seat.
Oh.
I can't escape it no matter what I try. It stays with me, idle, waiting for me to sleep, and...
Ah!
I hear a yell and my tires screech to a halt as I feel my car go over a bump. I get out of my car and see a woman holding her child on the floor. I can't wrap my head around it as I look back at my car, noticing the street streaked with red tire marks on the floor. The baby's head looks abnormally flat, with blood littering the floor like some kind of horror movie set. I keep looking back and forth, barely able to hear the gurgles of the dying mother. All the creature did was smile. Why was it following me? What does it want from me? Why wouldn't it just kill me?
Here, let me take these next paragraphs. Keep you a little break.
Gruesome.
Yeah, this mimic, I mean, I guess Matthew was right the whole time, but... I look back at the mother and baby, and I am left with no other option. I get in my car and drive away. That's what you do. I keep driving, my behind blank, unable to believe what I just did. I didn't dare look at my rearview mirror anymore. I knew it was there. I didn't have to look. It was breathing down my neck. After a long drive, I arrive back home, not even bothering to say hi to Gary. I run into the bathroom and lock myself in as I began to vomit, disgusted with myself. How could I just leave those two to die? Jesus! I killed a child and its mother in a hit and run. I thought to myself, as I continued to vomit, I looked up at the mirror to see it behind me. Same being pretending to be the girl I love, except This time, it was slightly different. It no longer looked like her, but instead a decaying corpse to run down to even figure out how she looked prior. I turned around to face it as it stood there idle. It was missing one eye, its flesh raw and filled with maggots and worms wriggling under the gray paper thin flesh. Its face bore a smile too wide for any human to manage. There were no teeth, just gums. I looked away from it as I vomited again from its putrid appearance, and I feel like it touched me. I could feel it touch me as it whispers to me in Emily's voice.
If there's one thing I hate...
The M word? Moist?
No.
Maggots?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gross.
Alright, here we go. You did good there, Cole. You did exactly what I wanted.
I turned around, screaming, trying to push it away, but it was gone as if it was never there. I began to cry. I couldn't take it anymore. The sting made me a murderer. It's as if it's living in my mind. After a while, I leave the bathroom with my brain in shambles as I just walk into my bedroom and lie down. I was nothing but a vegetable for the rest of the day. I didn't pay much attention, but managed to hear Gary telling me he was going to stay over at a friend's house. I didn't see the creature for the rest of the day. Later that night, I got a call from my girlfriend. I answered, waiting for her to speak first.
Hey, Cole. Is everything alright? I'm worried about you, babe. You missed work today. You want me to come over? She said in her sweet voice, but for me, it was nothing but haunting as my heart sped up hearing it. I couldn't tell if it was her or that mimic, creature, demon, whatever it was. Took a deep breath and finally responded after a long pause. I didn't mean to take that. That was an accident, but I had to keep going. Yes, Emily, I would like you to come over. I've been having issues with the mimic or whatever. Maybe it is all in my head, and having you over might help put me at ease.
I rationalized with myself. After talking to her for a little longer, I hung up the phone. She agreed to stop by around 8 p.m., leaving me about 2 hours to prepare for her visit. I lay on my bed, contemplating everything. How did my life go to hell because of this? I am a murderer. I don't know what to do. I hope maybe if I can see Emily, this might all blow over. Sure, I killed someone, but if no one knows, did it really happen? Yes. Jesus, look at me with all these terrible thoughts. It wasn't like I did it. The mimic, the thing made me.
Pause. I thought he ran over the mimic and, like, the baby. No. He ran over a real person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gathering from this, right? He ran over a real mother and a real baby.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then hit him and then booked it.
That's why I said, yeah, that's something you do. You just drive off, right? Clearly what you do when you do a hit and run, right? You hit somebody like,
But I wonder if he was imagining it because he can't tell reality from truth because of the mimic and the baby being splat on the wall. Or if
I don't know. I thought it was the way I was confused a little bit because I thought it was the demon and the mimic and the baby from the nightmare.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to think that it's not.
I don't think so. I think it's a real baby.
Jesus. All right, let's see here. I leave my room and head downstairs and decide to start cooking. Since she will be coming here late, I thought I'd treat her with a nice dinner. Wasn't an amazing cook, but I managed through some video tutorials and a messy kitchen. I finally finished making the lasagna. Damn, that's really hard to start off with. So I set it so it can cool as I waited for Emily. The mimic nowhere in sight. Finally, I hear a knock on the door, and I open to be greeted by an angel. I look at her in awe. She pulled me into a kiss and smiled at me, causing my heart to flutter as I doted on her. I don't know what that means. Flutter as I doted on her, touching her hair and pulling her into a hug. Couldn't believe it was actually her. After being tormented by this thing, to be her, here she was, in my arms, smiling.
I led her inside and we walked to the kitchen. As she sat, I served us both a piece of the lasagna. I could see her physically cringe after taking a bite, but she powered through it, knowing I took time and tried at least to make her dinner.
This was really nice of you to do, she smiles. Well, I'm all full, babe. Thanks so much again, but next time, I think we should order food, so you don't have to, do so much work, okay, honey? It's a terrible cook.
Or, what if it's not food that he was cooking? Alright, she takes the plate and places it into the sink before coming back to me, wrapping her arms around me as I finish eating.
You're so cute, you know that? You do so much to try to make me happy. It's only fair I make you happy. Come on, once you've finished eating, let's watch that one show you were telling me about. Breaking Bad or something? I know you wanted to watch it with me.
She walked away and headed toward the living room. Once I finished eating and cleaning the dishes, after incessantly refusing Emily's pleas to let her do it so I could relax, I headed toward the living room, plopping myself on the couch as she held me in her arms, stroking my hair.
So, are we gonna watch it or not?
She asked sweetly. Her voice felt like ecstasy in my ears.
Yes, hon, we are.
I responded as I put on the show. We sat and watched Breaking Bad hooked on it. Every time we said last one, we would start another wanting to know what would happen. Eventually, we both agreed it was too late, so we headed to bed.
I held her in my arms while laying on the bed, touching her hair and kissing her. The movements of her hips as she grinded on me made us heated, as we both knew what we wanted to do. We made love. Late night, despite us doing it almost weekly. It was different this time. Instead of the usual lustful pleasure, it was more pure. And I must say, it was probably the best session that we've ever had. We really did love each other, and tonight we expressed it the best way we could have, in private, just me and her, and no one else. After we talked, that's the most weirdest way to explain that situation. After we talked, Hold on. Let me compose myself before I start this next paragraph. Okay. Afterward, we talked, and she explained to me that she was going to help her mom tomorrow at the homeless shelter like she did every other week. But she said she was also volunteering at a hospital. I asked if I could join her, but she said all the positions were filled and she would ask to see if it was still possible and let me know as soon as possible. Finally, both drifted off to sleep. I had forgotten all about what happened. I no longer cared about the mimic or the people I ran over.
Oh, damn.
Okay. I had no worries at all now. That the one thing that kept me going was here in my bed, sleeping with me. Go ahead.
I woke up later that night. I reached over Emily to grab my water, touching gently before recoiling back. I get off the bed as my eyes adjust to the darkness, and I notice my hands covered in
maggots.
I yell, wiping them off and turning on the lights to see the mimic in the spot where Emily had been sleeping. It stared at me, its eyes burning into my soul as it stood up with that smile. It looked like it did when I first met it, a woman with her skin covered in dirt and bruised, her deep black sunken eyes and long dirty nails.
What did you do with Emily?
I yelled in fear and anger. It's just staring at me silently before opening its mouth and speaking in Emily's voice.
Carl, are you okay? It's me, Emily.
It said as it walked closer to me, reaching its long dirt hands towards me. I slapped it away before punching it in the nose. I was no longer afraid of it. I was enraged. I don't know what it did to Emily, but I have had enough of this shit. I ran towards the kitchen as I heard the mimic call for my name as it chased me, still using Emily's voice.
Oh my god, I know where this is going.
I rummaged through the drawer looking for any weapon before finding a large combat knife from the
Oh
junk
no.
drawer that Gary probably left in there. I confront the mimic as it stares at me.
Cole, is everything all...
I cut off the mimic when I sliced a knife toward it, leaving a gashing wound on its arm. Blood spills on the floor as I watch it writhe in pain holding its arm.
Cole, what the hell is wrong with you?
The mimic yells in her voice. It was trying to trick me. It still thought it could trap me. But that just left it open for another strike. I sliced at it with the knife again as it lifts up its hand to protect the face. Face, causing me to cut through her wrists and arms as I braid it with slashes from the knife. It yells in Emily's voice, pained me to my core. But I knew I couldn't stop. This was my only chance to finally dispose of this demon.
Oh no.
I eventually cut its arms and wrists to the point that they give away as it can no longer hold them up. For the first time, it had a look of fear in its eyes.
Cole, please stop! You're gonna kill me! Please stop! We can talk!
It yelled in her voice, but I wasn't having it. I tackled it to the floor and get on top of it as I bring down my knife into its chest over and over and over again. Its blood splattered all over me as I continue to jab the blade into its torso. I get off of her thinking it's finally dead as I look down at its body twitching and groaning. The floor is littered with both dried and fresh blood. The room smelled like iron. I looked at the knife covered in blood, my clothes drenched in the same red fluid. I look at it as it moves again, trying to drag itself.
Oh my god, I knew this was gonna happen. Okay. Here, let me take it from here. I know exactly what just happened. I grab it by the hair, pulling its head up, and press the knife against its neck. This was it. Finally, the horror will be over. I slowly pull the knife across its neck, savoring the sound of the flesh and muscle getting sliced, watching the blood spill out like an overflowing pool. I finish dragging the blade across a massive gash now through its neck. I dropped it as I hear it gurgling while watching its last few moments alive. It was finally over. It was dead. And then here's what happened. Patient name, Cole Inwell. Occupation, store clerk. Reason for hospitalization, murder, untreated, schizophrenia.
No.
Case.
Oh.
Murdered Emily Sherman due to a psychotic episode of untreated schizophrenia. Cole believed Emily was a hallucination he calls the Mimic. He was found by Gary Warner, drenched in blood, standing over Emily's body. The cops were called and Cole was soon arrested, where he pleaded insanity. He was tested and put into the Sulkin Mental Institution, where he currently remains. Biopsy later reported that Emily died of excessive blood loss and organ failure. Her body was found with 46 stab wounds and a slit throat. Her family was given all the details except for one that the police department agreed to keep classified. During the biopsy, a 3-week-old fetus was found in her womb. She died pregnant.
I just need a second before I read this next part.
God.
Oh my god.
Fuck, dude, that's heavy. Dang. God damn.
Yeah.
His story, that's crazy.
I wasn't sure where this story was going at first.
When they went to sleep, right? Right, so Matthew, fuck you. Alright, fuck you, Matthew, for putting the Mimic inside Cole's head. It's Matthew's fault. I blame him. But anyways, like I was saying, as soon as the whole thing started, like when he woke up and he saw the Mimic there, and the Mimic wasn't being crazy, like it was just like being normal, but he saw the Mimic, I knew it was Emily, and I knew he was gonna murder her. I could see it coming. I wanted to be wrong, but fuck, dude, that is heavy. And like, that is so crazy. Alright.
I knew he was gonna it was eventually going to be like, who's who, especially because it acted like her.
Yeah.
All right. I dropped the file on my desk and sigh as I grab my lab coat and head toward room 132, where Cole Inwell resides. I open the door and enter to see Cole sitting on his bed with a smile on his face.
Hello, Dr. Henderson.
Cole replied, looking me dead in the eyes.
It is time. Is it time for my meds?
I nod and hand him a small paper cup with different medication and hand him a glass of water. He seems more happy than usual. I left him in his room shortly after to go fill some paperwork. The day went on relatively quick. When I finally headed home, I was greeted by my dog and wife. Before I could set anything down, I received a message on my pager. Cole had taken his own life. I lay down on my couch contemplating. I had heard his story. It was tragic. If he had just had the proper treatment, all of this could have been prevented. But in the back of my mind, I always had a nagging feeling that what if his story wasn't a lie? What if the mimic was real? I hear my wife call me from the kitchen. She died 3 years ago.
I just got chills. I just got chills all over my body. That's why this comment down here says the chills. Yeah, no shit. That's crazy. That is crazy. My wife died 3 years ago? Bro.
But he was greeted by his dog and wife.
Yeah, his dog. Yeah. Wait.
When I finally headed home, I was greeted by my dog and wife. Before he set anything down, he received the message on his pager.
He's already schizophrenic.
She's a doctor.
Let's unpack this.
That was a good story.
Let's unpack the story a little bit. Wow. Kudos to the author. AIM 122. That is super good. Phenomenal story. Phenomenal. I'm very glad that we read it. I'm glad that the other story looks really cool. I'm sure it was very good. But this one was definitely very good too. Holy shit. Let's unpack it a little bit.
I like this comment from Dirty Page. This says the ending left nicely room for chapter 2 of the story. Since it seems like the mimic chose the doctor as the next plaything.
I almost like it though as one story though. I wouldn't want a part 2.
No,
because I feel like a part 2 would ruin it. Honestly, I think like it's good where it's at, you know, because usually part 2 is like kind of like make it less intense. But Jesus Christ, the story was crazy. Like I liked where it started. The fucking grocery guy was like, "That's a mimic, dude. You gotta watch out for that shit. That's a mimic." But like when it said like the part about the baby, I was like, that is so crazy. So like I don't think he ran over people now. I don't think he actually did that. I think he was hallucinating still. Because like there's no way they would have addressed that in the case. 100%, right? But
maybe they never found out who it was.
I don't think that part's real. But damn, this story is crazy. It was good. I'm about it. This was a good story. I don't know what else to say, but phenomenal. It kept me engaged the whole time too. I like all the dialogue parts because like they flow. There's a couple grammar mistakes, but that's okay. Like I'm sure like they just posted a story and didn't really like, you know, it didn't really need that much, but
yeah,
it was very good. I liked the ending a lot. The suspenseful ending. That's great. I like that. Like where it leads off like a little wonder, like what's gonna happen, you know, like, oh no, now the doctor's infected, you know?
Yeah.
I really like that. I really, really like that. because it's like more like a what if, what's gonna happen next. And like now it's gonna like, now people are gonna like talk about like, oh man, that's ending crazy. Like, what's gonna happen with the doctor? I hope we never know. I don't want them to do another story. I think this is good as where it's at. I think one,
One and done.
like when like movies have like a sequel and like it does not need a sequel.
And they should have just left it at the one movie with no sequel.
Like the movie Sicario. You know what I'm talking about? Didn't need. If you've seen it, it's like about like the CIA taking down like a cartel, basically, in like the most shady way possible. The first movie was phenomenal. The second movie wasn't that good. I mean, it was good, but it was like didn't need it. This is a perfect story, and it's like it almost goes with like you're in the side of a mind of like a mental patient. Obviously, like he has schizophrenia, so like there's so much in the story where like, well, was it schizophrenia? Was it this demon? So you're like, you don't really know what to think.
Yeah, and it just happened.
Yeah,
like
it's
no signs. It was just the mimic. I thought it was a doppelganger at the beginning, but just the mimic just showed up.
I really like how the author was like, they were saying like, they painted it almost like it was a demon or like a ghost, but then it ended up being like, a mental disability.
Yeah.
That's really good writing. I really like that. I like it when stories end that way. I do like the paranormal stuff, but I like it when the story like ties it in to like an element. So it makes you wonder, but then it's like, but was it a mental ailment or was it an actual demon? Because now like the doctor is having the same thing, right? And maybe the doctor has schizophrenia. Maybe he's old. Maybe he has, early stages, but very good. This story was very well written.
It was. You did
I
good.
liked it.
You picked a good one.
This was good. You picked this one.
I did?
Yeah, you picked this.
Then you're welcome.
I hope anyone has any nightmares from my smiling. I try to go as creepy as possible.
I kept cause my iPad's like right here when I'm reading it. It's like below. And I like kind of looked up at you when I read that it was like, she smiled freakishly or whatever. And I was just like, okay, now I'm going to have nightmares.
But yeah, this is a good story. I liked it a lot. We'll do another one of the other author that we read last week or a couple weeks ago. Alex McIntosh, but this was very good. AIM 122.
Yeah.
Have more stories out there. Let us know. Because I really liked this one. This was very good. We've had a good streak so far. We've had a good streak. Two good ones in a row is very, very rare. For creepypasta, that's rare. All right? That does not happen very often. One of these stories, we're going to get a bad one. We're going to have to post it. It's going to have to happen, right? It's going to be like a long story. We're going to have to end up posting it. But this story, it definitely deserves the rating it has.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe I think an 8.1 is good. I think that's a good rating for the story. I liked it. On a scary scale, 1 to 10, I think it's like an 8. I got chills at the end of the story. That's the first time I've gotten chills out of the last 3 videos I've read for this podcast.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like the last one wasn't really scary. It was more entertaining. It was more of like a thriller. The ones before that were like scary, but like it wasn't like hitting me on like the scary like bone. This one, it really like pulled me in. This is what happened, right? Reading the case file, I was like, I was immersed.
That was a nice touch.
I was immersed. I was like in it. And then it was like the 3-week-old baby. I was like, oh, fuck. And then, fetus. And then it was like, my wife died 3 years ago. I was like, oh shit. That was crazy. That actually gave me chills. Like after reading the case file and then that last paragraph really like got me.
Let me know if you have nightmares or trouble sleeping,
I'm not gonna have nightmares.
or if you see the mimic
Stop!
in the
Don't you
office.
say that. So
I'm about to
there's
be there in
you better stop. There are a couple things I'm afraid of when it comes to like these type of stories. Mimics.
okay.
Mimics are scary as fuck. I don't want to say the name because it's bad luck. You can say it, but skinwalkers, like you know the word for it, don't like
Pedestrian.
those.
They're flesh pedestrians.
Don't like. You can say skinwalker. You just can't say the one that starts with a W. Yeah, that's bad luck. But I don't like those. Those stories. I like those stories, but they're fucking terrifying. Like, there's one story that I read or listened to, and they put like banging sounds in the video because there was like a part where like all the walls and windows were being banged on. Freaked me out.
Oh,
Because like the skinwalkers, like they mimic your voice, and like that gives me chills. Same with the mimics, the same concept. Those are scary. Those stories are terrifying. Demon stories, anything with like demons, if it's like a good writtenly story, like obviously that'll give me a little bit, but mimics and skinwalkers, especially living in like the West, in the mountains, like that's what the stories. Those where those stories take place.
Have you seen any of the stories of the Appalachian Trail?
Yeah, those ones are scary. Are anything like those?
There's so many mimic stories in that. That scares me.
Yeah, those ones are creepy because like that's like real life shit. Cause I like I like to hike. I like to go on like adventures, not at night. And my friends are like, let's camp out. Let's camp. Let's go camp overnight. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm not camping overnight. I'm gonna hike in the daylight. I'm gonna go home. All right.
I heard the craziest, scariest hiking story from Maldo, and you should ask her about it.
Maldonado.
Yeah.
It's happened to her?
Yeah.
And you
should. Yeah.
Don't want to know it. Don't want to know it.
You need to ask her about it. You need to ask. That's the scariest, like, that was the scariest day hiking. Not camping, just hiking ghost story I've ever heard in my life.
It's a ghost. Story. It's not even like an animal story. It's a ghost story.
It's not an animal. It's a ghost or something.
We got to bring her on the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll have her tell it. That'd be kind of cool. I'm down for that. I was like, hey, you want to be on my podcast and tell us your story? We'll bring her on as a guest. Hell yeah. But this story, phenomenal. I don't want to go any too much longer because we're at like an hour and 6. But some of this it's gonna get cut down a little bit because like we messed up a couple times. I have to cut those out. And it's okay if we mess up like we did in the last story a little bit because it wasn't that much. We mess up a lot. So that's gonna like I'll have to cut it out a little bit. Not a lot, because I have to keep some of them in there because it's funny. But like the pauses that we did for like a little bit longer than we're supposed to. But thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for all the subscribers recently from the last video. We went from 13 to 38, right? Let's see. Maybe it's a little bit higher now. It is 38. 13 to 38 in like 6 days. I mean, what else can you ask for? That's awesome. Thank you for subscribing, continuing to watch the videos, and I hope everyone sleeps well. Don't have any mimics in your bed. Don't kill a baby and a person in the street and then drive off. All right, that's not cool. But other than that, thanks for watching. Hit the like, subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time. You want to say bye or okay?
Oh yeah, bye. Thanks for having me again.
All right. Peace.
Bye.